Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Arunodayam sbiology. So in our previous video we have learnt about human brain. No, we have learnt about what are the parts present in brain and what are their functions, isn't it? So today in this part 2 of human brain video we are going to learn what are the tissues which are protecting the brain and spinal cord. And we are also going to learn how does the nervous tissue cause action in this video. So today in this video we are covering two topics: tissues which are protecting our two organs, that is brain and spinal cord, and how the nervous tissue causes action. First of all, what are the tissues protecting brain and spinal cord? So we all know that brain and spinal cord are the two important organs of our nervous system. They are completely made up of millions of neurons which are very delicate in nature, and these neurons cannot repair themselves if they once get damaged. If they once get damaged, neurons cannot repair themselves. So our body has the responsibility to keep these two organs of our nervous system in safe hands. These two organs needs to be carefully protected. So what are the protective structures present around them? Let us see. First, coming to brain. Brain is present in our skull region. No? So this brain is present in a bony box like structure called as a cranium. So our skull contains a structure which is made up of bone and appears like a box called as cranium. Inside the cranium the brain will sit inside it. Okay, the brain sits inside the cranium. So this cranium protects the brain from external or mechanical injuries. Okay, second one, meninges are present on the brain. Meninges means nothing but membranes. So when we take a longitudinal section of brain, we can clearly see three membranes are present on the surface of the brain which are protecting the neurons. Those three meninges or membranes are nothing but outermost dura mater, middle arachnoid membrane, and innermost pia mater. Okay, so these three membranes are present on the surface of the brain and they will protect the neurons which are present inside it from injuries. Third one, cerebrospinal fluid, CSF, cerebrospinal fluid. Cerebro refers to brain, spinal refers to spinal cord. That means this fluid is present in cerebrobrain and also in spinal cord. Actually, this fluid is present in brain and it continues with the spinal cord. Okay, that's why it is called a cerebrospinal fluid, and this fluid acts as a shock absorbing fluid, shock absorbing medium. So it protects our brain from external shocks and jerks. Okay, so these are the three structures which protects our brain from external injuries and also from external jerks and shocks. Bony box like structure called cranium, three membranes called as a meninges, and cerebrospinal fluid is present actually between the second membrane and third membrane. Between arachnoid membrane and pia mater, this fluid is present. So it flows between brain and spinal cord. Okay. Next, coming to spinal cord. So spinal cord is nothing but the extension of brain. No? Extension of brain. It is a long structure which is cylindrical in nature. So this cylindrical long structure is protected by a bony structure called as a vertebral column. Vertebral column. If you run your hand down the middle of your back, if you put your hand on the middle of your back, you can clearly observe a hard, bumpy structure. That is nothing but a vertebral column. Okay. So this vertebral column protects the spinal cord from external injuries. And same like brain, the spinal cord also contains meninges, three meninges, dura mater, arachnoid and pia mater. And between second and third membrane, a fluid is present in spinal cord, that is cerebrospinal fluid. So the only difference between these two brain and spinal cord protective tissues is cranium and vertebral column. Okay, here the bony structure is cranium, here the bony structure is vertebral column. Remaining of the both the tissues, remaining meninges and cerebrospinal fluid are present both in brain and spinal cord. So these are the tissues which are protecting these two delicate organs of our nervous system, that is brain and spinal cord. Next topic, how does the nervous tissue cause action? So if any stimulus happens in our surroundings, our body must show response, isn't it? Our nervous tissues cause some action. So how does this action takes place? Let us learn about it. So any stimulus happens in our surroundings. What is meant by stimulus? An action which is taking place around us which can trigger response in our body is called a stimulus. Take for example, a pen fell on the board. So a pen fell on the board, we have to pick it up. Okay, so this is a stimulus. Pen falling onto the board is a stimulus. So I have taken that stimulus through my sense organ eyes. So eyes will take that information, that is pen has fallen on the board, that information will be taken over by the neurons present in my eyes and passes them to my brain. Okay, so this is not a reflex action, this is not a dangerous action, that's why that information will be sent to brain instead of a spinal cord. If some actions need immediate responses, no, some reflex actions, if some reflex action takes place, then definitely that information will be passed on to spinal cord, but this is not a reflex action, that's why this information will be passed to my brain. So what happens here is the neurons which are present in my eyes will take that information and passes that information to my brain. The neurons which are present in my brain will analyze that information, will process that information and conveys some decision. That decision will be taken to muscles. That means muscles will do the final job here. The nervous tissue, that means the brain, has taken some decision and that decision will be conveyed to muscles. Here muscles present in my hand has to do the job. What the muscles has to do here, the muscles which are present in my fingers and hands has to move and has to pick the pen from the board. So here what happens is muscles has to move in order to show action. How the muscles move? By changing their shape and becoming short. So what happens in muscles while producing an action is they will change their shape. They will change their shape and becomes short. By changing their shape and becoming short, then they will move and performs an action. How can muscles change their shape? It depends on the chemistry of the components of cells present in the muscles. Actually, muscles contain some special proteins which can change the shape of the muscle and can change their cellular arrangement. Some special proteins are present in muscles, they can change the shape and cellular arrangement of the muscles. Because of the new cellular arrangement, the shape of the muscle changes and it becomes short. By that they can move and they can do the action, that means picking up the pen from the board. So this is what happens in our nervous tissue while producing an action. So did you understand? Here while producing an action, muscles has to move by changing their shape and becoming short. So how they can change their shape and becoming short? By means of some proteins present inside them. So they can change the cellular arrangement present in the muscles. So because of that new cellular arrangement, they can perform that action. So this is what happens in our nervous tissue while producing an action. So in your 9th class, you have already studied about types of muscles also, voluntary muscles, involuntary muscles, that means striated and non-striated muscles. So you have also learned about differences between them also. If you have 9th class textbooks, please refer them once. So that is about our topic. Okay. So in this video we have learnt about the tissues which are protecting the brain and spinal cord and how does the nervous tissue cause action. Hope you understand this video. If you have any doubts, please ask me in comment section. I will clarify your doubts. If you understand this video and if you find it is useful, please like this video and share it with your friends. Thank you so much for watching. Jai Hind.